So picture this. There's a computer sitting on a desk somewhere that fits in the palm of your hand, sips power like a laptop, and is quietly running AI models that, a year and a half ago, you needed a multi-$1,000 tower stuffed with graphics cards to even attempt. And the wild part isn't that it exists, the wild part is the price tag next to it, because while Nvidia is asking somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,000 to $5,000 for a shiny little AI box, AMD's cheapest path into the exact same club starts at around $1,500. That gap is the whole story today, and I've been down the rabbit hole on it for a while now, so if you like it when someone actually reads the benchmarks before talking, stick around, because this channel runs in that kind of thing, and you're gonna want to see the rest of this one. So let me back up and explain what we're even looking at. The star here is AMD's Ryzen AI Max Plus 395, codenamed Strix Halo, and honestly, calling it just a processor undersells what's going on inside. It packs 16 Zen 5 cores and 32 threads, a 3 GHz base clock that boosts up to 5.1 GHz, 16 MB of L2 cache, and 64 MB of L3 cache, onboard Radeon 8060S integrated graphics with 40 RDNA 3.5 compute units and a dedicated XDNA 2 NPU rated at 50 tops. All that built on the TSMC's 4nm process. The headline feature, the thing that makes the whole category click, is memory. These systems come with 128 GB of LPDDR5X 8000 memory shared across both the CPU and the GPU. Most of that pool can be handed to the graphics side and used as VRAM. And if you've ever tried running a big language model locally, you know that VRAM is the wall everybody hits. A normal gaming GPU might give you 60 to 24 gigs and then tap out. This thing gives a local model a giant lake of memory to swim in. AMD claims the platform can run models with up to 200 billion parameters locally, all that on a little box that fits right next to your monitor. That's the magic trick. Strix Halo wasn't even originally designed to be a local AI monster. It was AMD's answer to Apple's M series Pro chips. The local LLM gold rush kind of happened around it, and it was the right chip in the right place at exactly the right moment, and AMD had the good sense to lean all the way in. Now here's the comparison everybody keeps drawing. Nvidia announced the DGX Spark platform first, and AMD delivered the direct response with Strix Halo, and interestingly brought its chips to market even earlier than the competitor. The Spark is Nvidia's compact personal AI supercomputer built on the GB10 Grace Blackwell superchip, also with 128 GB of unified memory. So same memory, same general mission, but the difference is what you pay. The DGX Spark originally launched at $3,999, but Nvidia recently bumped the price to $4,699 because of the global supply crush on LPDDR5X memory and NAND flash. Meanwhile, AMD's own premium dev kit, the Ryzen AI Halo platform, came in at $3,999, undercutting Nvidia by $700 right out of the gate. But that AMD dev kit is the fancy version, and frankly, it's not even the interesting number. Third-party Ryzen AI Max 395 mini PCs with similar configurations are available at lower prices. Corsair's AI Workstation 300 starts at around $2,699. Think about that for a second. The entry ticket to running serious local AI just went from the cost of a used car to the cost of a decent laptop, and that's not an incremental thing. That cracks the door open for a whole crowd of people who were never going to drop $4,000 to an experiment. That brings us to a question: if this is actually fast, or is it just cheap? And this is where I expect AMD to fall apart, and it just didn't. The folks at Tomes Hardware and the Register both pulled these two boxes head to head, and the results are genuinely close. In single batch performance in llama.cpp, which is one of the most popular tools for running models locally, the Nvidia GB10 and AMD Strix Halo churn out tokens at a similar pace, with the AMD box actually pulling off a narrow lead when using the Vulkan backend. Yeah, you should definitely read that again. The cheaper box won that round. The reason is delightfully boring. In a single user scenario, token generation is mostly bottlenecked by memory bandwidth, and the GB10 claims about 273 GBs per second, and AMD Strix Halo manages about 256 gigabytes per second. Close enough that the gap basically vanishes in practice for everyday use, but still very impressive, and across various AI benchmarks, the two chips land nearly on par, especially in FP16 and FP64 tasks. So no, this isn't a case of you get what you pay for, the cheap one is garbage, for those things that most people actually want, which is generating tokens from a local model at usable speeds. AMD trades blows with a box that costs 3 times as much. That's the moment that made me sit up. Now, I want to be straight with you because I'm not here to sell you a fairy tale. The Spark is not getting embarrassed across the board. If you're looking at time to first token, the GB10's GPU is roughly 2 to 3 times faster than the one the Strix Halo box offers. What that means in plain English is that the prompt processing, the moment when the model reads everything you fed it before it starts replying, is noticeably snappier on the Nvidia side. For short prompts, you'll barely feel it. It's really with the bigger context sizes, like the 64K or the 256K range, that the wait starts to become noticeable. So if you're constantly slamming huge documents into a model, that definitely matters. And then there's the elephant in every AI room, which is software. None of these AMD systems natively support Nvidia's CUDA, which remains the dominant software platform for AI development in the world over and over again. CUDA is the reason a lot of professional developers will pay the Nvidia tax without blinking. The latest models tend to just work on Nvidia stack, and AMD's ROCm software, which has gotten genuinely solid lately, still asks a little more patience from you. If your whole workflow lives inside the CUDA, the hardware almost doesn't matter because the ecosystem is the product. That's been AMD's recurring headache in AI for years, and I'd be lying if I pretended that it's fully solved. Now, here's where I land, and I'll just say it plainly. I think this is one of the most genuinely exciting hardware stories of the year, and I think AMD deserves a ton of credit, because Nvidia isn't working to charge a premium. The CUDA ecosystem is real, the polish is real, the prompt processing edge is real, but AMD just made all of that feel optional for a massive chunk of the audience. For pure inference tasks that mostly need a lot of local memory and can live without Nvidia's proprietary features, the Ryzen AI Max plus 395 is a powerful and often more cost-effective alternative. And on top of the price, you get x86 architecture and proper Windows support, so the thing doubles as a normal capable desktop when you're not running AI. The Spark, by contrast, is basically locked to its Linux-based environment, and the AMD box is an AI workstation that happens to also be a real functional computer, compared to the Spark, which is basically an AI appliance. For a developer dipping their toes in, a hobbyist who wants to run big models privately at home, a student, a small studio, honestly anyone who doesn't have corporate card covering a $4,700 purchase, the value math is not even close. The cheaper box gets you in the door, keeps your data on the desk instead of someone's cloud, and runs the models you actually care about at a speed you'll actually accept. That's a win, full stop. Now, the best part is the slow version of the future. AMD is already lining up a follow-up, the Ryzen AI Max plus 495, which is expected around Q3 2026, packing up to 192 gigabytes of memory and support for 300 billion parameter models. So the ceiling keeps lifting, and with the whole industry watching how hard Strix Halo punched above its price, you can bet that the next round of this fight gets even better for us, the people actually buying these things. For now, though, the takeaway is simple. A $1,500 box just walked into a $4,000 fight and refused to lose. That doesn't happen often, and when it does, it usually means a market is about to change for the better. And if this is the kind of breakdown you came for, the part where someone actually digs through the benchmarks instead of just reading a spec sheet out loud, do me a quick favor and hit that like button, because it really does help these videos get out there, and subscribe so you can catch the 495 coverage when it drops, because trust me, that one is gonna be a banger. I'll see you in the next one.